Hello, welcome back to Isan. Today we are in the province of SURIN, which is deep in southern Isan. Now, not only have I found the most incredible, delicious Wagyu beef noodle soup for less than $2, I might add, but also I'll drive you around the town centre because there's something very interesting happening today. There's over 100 elephants here. There's an elephant festival taking place this evening. However, as I'll explain in this video, I don't think I'm gonna go. So just stay tuned for the reason why. Stay tuned for the delicious Wagyu beef noodle soup and the tour of SURIN. And also, as an added bonus, I'm gonna be doing a Q&A style video at the end as well. I'm gonna be answering lots of questions that you guys have been asking me over again. Hopefully you'll get to know me and my plans for the channel going forward a little bit better as well. So strap in and let's enjoy SURIN. Right, welcome to downtown SURIN. I'll take you to a nice noodle shop in a second. We'll start the video. So this is the city shrine. This red building. It's quite lovely. It looks quite reminiscent to the really beautiful temple I saw in Buriram, that's it. This thing here in front of us with the gold and the red and the white accents, it's just a temple in the town centre, but it's particularly beautiful, I think. And there was lots of monks activity here this morning when I arrived into town. I checked into a hotel and I just passed out, if I'm honest. I've got blisters on my hands. You see my thumb here and on the palm of my hand here from working on the Naked Guru's farm yesterday. He had me working really hard for a good couple of hours in the sun. No gloves, no shoes. The ants were eating me alive. And then I ended up like borrowing his wife's gloves, put my shoes on. You know, I'm a city boy. I'm not used to this grafting malarkey. So I've ordered its boat noodles. I'm gonna have to shout a little bit because it's right next to the main road. But yeah, it's boat noodles, which we tried in Isan already and I really enjoyed it. It's kind of scary looking because of the sauce is so dark and brown, and that's because it has blood. It's pork blood, along with sugar and chili and lots of spices. And it's actually really delicious. And here they have, for $2, well 59 bahts, which is around about $2 US, you can get Wagyu beef boat noodles. So it comes with quite a few different things. I ordered extra egg and extra boiled veg, but it already came with veg and egg noodles underneath and inside. And then I've sprinkled on some chili flakes just for good measure, because I'm kind of, now that I'm accustomed to boat noodles, I know that they're not super spicy and that you can add your own spice. So before I answer the first few questions, let's just try this Wagyu beef, this $2. You know, it's grass-fed. I read the menu, they say it's grass-fed Wagyu beef. And it's not a stingy portion either, you get 2 nice big chunks of it. So let's just try it. Let's see. Smells amazing. Let's just try the meat first. Get that noodle off the spoon. Okay, you can come with us. So yeah, looks good. Oh my god. This is the best food I've had in Isan by far. The second it touched my mouth, it started to melt. And the spices coming through now, and the incredible flavor of the blood juice and soupy sauce, basically, is amazing. This is proper. This is, you know me, if I don't like something, I can't just pretend. And Isan's been a challenge. This is going to be great. So yeah, I just put on Instagram, you know, ask me a question for a Q&A, because I don't really have a two-way relationship with you guys. I mean, I do with my channel members, and especially on Patreon, when we have our Zoom calls and we have our games and things and live streams. That definitely, we have a connection there. But the majority of you, 99.9% of you who watch these videos, it's me just telling you how I'm feeling and showing you what I'm seeing. So it's quite nice to answer some of your questions personally, and so everybody else might have the same question as well. So I'll try and pick the most interesting ones. Somebody called Tata641 says, do you feel like taking a pause on your trip, Paddy? And I think that's in response to quite clearly being fatigued mentally and physically. And someone else says, do you feel like you're rushing through Isan? Do you feel like you're rushing through the provinces? And so the answer to both of those questions is yes, I do feel like taking a pause, and I am. And that's the reason why I'm rushing. This is the noisiest restaurant. I'll just answer this one question and I'll take you somewhere quiet. I am rushing because I want to take a break, and I don't want to take a break and have to come back to Isan. I looked at Isan with dread. You know, the south was nothing but spectacular every single way, every single day. And then when I went up north, again, fantastic. You know, I followed the weather. I said to you at the beginning when I was planning the video, I would always just follow the weather. So I was in the south before the rainy season. And then when the rainy season hit, I was already up north where it's cool and dry. And then I just looked at Isan and I thought, oh, this is going to be so big, so vast. And it seems like there's not going to be much to see and do in general compared to the south and the north. And it turned out to be true. There was lots and lots of things to see and do, but they were spread out over a huge area, which is fine if you're like traveling around in a car and you're making a video every week. You can just pick and choose the highlights and then skip all the boring driving parts. But for me, I wanted to knock out 3 videos a week for the first year of the channel and really grow the channel, and I thought that upload frequency would help. 3 times a week, and I'm doing twice every 2 days in December. And I just thought, I want to rush. I do want to rush through Isan. I want to get it over with. 20 provinces, and you know, only a handful, really, maybe half a dozen really interesting places that I was actually looking forward to going to, such as Khon Kaen and Nakhon Panom, and going to see Rayong in Buriram, and Kaeo National Park, and that's coming soon, and a few other ones that I can't think of right now. And of course there's been surprises along the way. There was surprises no matter where I went in the south and in the north. But in Isan I felt like, oh, every province will be a surprise and I will be blown away by every province. And then I just wasn't, you know. And you know, remember, I'm not getting paid by the Thai tourism board to promote every single place I go to. Sometimes I fall into that trap where I feel like, yeah, it's my duty to go out and show the best of places, but I've come to realize that I think, anyway, that you prefer following the personal journey. And yes, you want to see and learn about the provinces, and then that's what I try to do. But with Isan, I felt like rushing through because I know I'm taking a break in December 20th until the new year. I'm taking about 2 weeks off. 1 week in Bangkok and then about 5 days in Pai. I'm going to fly up to Pai, and I'll be there for New Year's. So if you're watching this, I'll be in Bangkok over Christmas, but I'm not going to be like vlogging. I'm not going to be making content. I'll make one video about the entire week that I'm there. I'll share with you what I did and who I saw, because I plan to see all my friends and Miss P and really not drive dreamy. I'll park dreamy probably in Karat or Karon or whatever it's called, the province where Kaeo is, and then get the bus into the city, just so that Dreamy's not with me. But now I'm thinking as well that I might take the bike to a bike shop in Bangkok so we can fix our oil leak properly, because I won't have the pressure of just fixing it quickly to get me to the next town, because I didn't want to waste 5 days of the bike being in a shop for a part to come in from Japan or wherever, because I just wanted to get Isan done so I could know it was finished, relax in Bangkok and in Pai for New Year's, reset my mind, reset my body, reset my energy levels, and then I can finish the provinces, the 77 provinces, with a better mentality of more positivity, a well-rested back, a fixed engine on Dreamy, and a better mental situation. Because I mean, yeah, I'll definitely look back in months to come or years to come like, oh, I shouldn't have rushed Isan, but that's just the way it is, you know. That's just the way it is. And trust me, another one of these questions, yes, so someone said, I feel like you're rushing this whole adventure. I'm not rushing this. I've been on the road for 8 months, nearly 9 months. And if you've ever traveled 9 months solo, and if you think that's rushing, I mean, 9 months traveling through the entire South America isn't rushing. So 9 months traveling one country, that is not rushing. It feels like I'm rushing through Isan, because I kind of am, for the reasons I told you. I want to get it done, I want to get it over with, and I want to go to Bangkok and not have to come back and have a better mindset. You know, it's really easy to judge people's traveling style, isn't it? I do it all the time when I watch other travel vloggers. I'm like, what? 1 week they're in Samui, next week they're in Chiang Mai, and next week they're in Bangkok, and then they've left. Like, that's crazy. Why didn't they just stay in one place and really get to know it? But that's their trip. That's not my trip. And this is my trip. This is my year off school, a year off teaching, having a routine, having a boss, having to go to school 5 days a week and everything, and just taking control. And I'm not going to get it perfect. I'm not saying that this is the way to travel Isan. This is not the way to travel Isan. Don't do it on a little bike. And don't try to do 20 provinces in 3.5 weeks. It's stupid. Anyway, it's a bit noisy in here, but I hope that was a good answer. I'll eat this and then I'll take you somewhere quiet and a little bit more scenic, and we'll do loads more interesting questions, I promise. See, look, here's what I mean. Just, yeah, it's cool. Elephants, wow. But they've all got dudes on their heads. I mean, this is the way it is in Thailand, unfortunately. It's their tradition. It's their way. It's just, you know, when you learn about how do you train an animal like that to withstand a human being on the neck, you realise it's not really the best situation. And this is quite strange, isn't it? Just elephants just walking down the street, and big ones too. And this one's like, oh, I dropped my stick, pick up my stick please. Meanwhile, you know, look, there's big heavy trucks and buses and people on the school run picking up the kids from school. So yeah, that's kind of what is available here in SURIN. Lots and lots of interesting things to do with elephants if you're into it, but I'm just not into it. Oh, the baby one's cute though, but look, got the chain on his leg. Yeah, not for me, unfortunately. You know, there's a big sort of festival going on tonight, but I don't really want to come and support that, so we're going to go to the lake, and then tonight I'll probably watch a movie rather than support a bunch of elephants being chained up and ridden around. But that's just me, that's just me. And I think I've finally figured out why I feel weird about elephants, and why I never gravitate to go film. I've been invited so many times to go to sanctuaries and do things with elephants for this channel, from Samui to Chiang Mai, and I've always said no. There are 3 roles that animals play in our lives. There are, you know, animals that are born and raised to be loved and taken care of, such as pets, you know, dogs and cats. There are animals that are born and raised that we eat, you know, cattle, pigs, and cows and chickens and things. And then there are animals that we just should not touch, and they should just live in the wild free, and that's 99% of the animals. And you know, elephants don't fall in the first 2 category, but they're in this grey area because we love them and we take care of them, but we don't really, you know, think about elephants, you know, we don't raise them to be eaten, we don't eat them. But then you can say, oh, but what about they're like pets? Well, they're not raised to be pets. You know, I'm not saying that the mahouts, the guys who take care of the animals, don't love them. But, you know, taking care of them and loving them, I mean, why would you stab them with metal spikes and train them so you can sit on their heads? That just doesn't sound like a loving relationship. So clearly elephants are supposed to be left alone and left to their own devices and live in the wild. And then that's when people say, oh, but what about sanctuaries? That's where they get taken care of. Do they? Every time I've seen a vlog of someone going to a sanctuary, they're clearly in an enclosure. Sometimes they even have chains on them, like, oh yeah, but that's just so that they don't run away. Doesn't sound like a sanctuary to me, you know. And then it's like, oh, but if they didn't have the sanctuaries, they wouldn't get medicine, because when I went, we were giving them food and medicine. Well, elephants get medicine in the wild. If they get sick, they eat a special type of root, or they rip the bark of a tree that they know and have learnt that helps deal with upset stomachs and things. And you know, oh yeah, but it's a sanctuary. Well, it's just marketing. Oh, but we get to go and wash them in the river and clean them. They can clean themselves. They can clean themselves. So I just don't think we have any business with elephants, and so that's why I always feel weird. Like they're working, but we're not eating them, and we're not really taking care of them like dogs, and loving them and stroking them and giving them everything they need. We're just parading them in the streets, feeding them a bunch of food, and then stabbing them with a stick if they don't behave. So I'm just, that was just a little bit of a rant, sidetrack, but that's why I'm not going to that festival tonight, and that's why I don't really want to go to sanctuaries. So anyway, let's answer some of your questions. Someone says, I mean, half these Instagram names, you can't even read them out, they're just random letters. What's next after you finish all the provinces? Good question. What's next? I don't know. I'm so concentrating on trying to finish and trying to get it done. You know, it's really difficult to think past Thailand and think past 77 provinces. I'm just in the whirlwind of it right now, and I'm just desperate to get it done. You know, I don't want it to just be finished. I will be savouring the moment later on. I think once I'm rested and once I'm not in Isan and I'm like back on the coastline and I'm back on the islands of Koh Rong and wherever I end up and stuff, and once I meet my friends and get perspective a bit more, I think I'll slow it down. Towards the end, I'll really slow it down and enjoy it and soak it all in, because I'll be gutted when it's finished. I'll be incredibly proud and happy that I completed it, but I'll be gutted because then I'll have to really have a sit down and say, well, what am I going to do now? So the short answer is I don't know. And then someone says, when do you plan on going back to teaching? That was by Labrador Lee. So I'll go back to teaching if after this trip I don't want to go on the YouTube journey anymore. You know, I started the channel in January, we went on the road in March, and it's now December. So come March I should be finished, and then I'll have to talk to my school and talk to my friends and talk to myself, more importantly. What do I want to do next? And you know, the school have kindly kept my position and I'll talk to them. I'll say, hey, can I come back? And they'll say yes. I know for a fact that they're desperate for teachers to come back. I'm not the only teacher who's left or taken a year off. Many teachers had enough with the whole COVID thing. You know, if you remember, if you don't know, that's why I took a year off, because I just felt like teaching online was stressful, and having holidays cancelled last minute, it was a joke. And it wasn't the school's fault, it's just the COVID situation, and they could only do their best, and we could only say okay fine. And then I thought, actually no, I don't have to just say okay fine for another year. I can just take a year off, and they were kind enough to let me take some time away and clear my head, which I still haven't done. I haven't cleared my head at all. In fact, I've made it worse. No, I really don't know what I want to do with my life. Someone says, any talk of the new Budgeteers series? So Ty's and Lena, if you don't know, I'm 1/3 of another YouTube channel, the Budgeteers, and every year we get together and make a series, but we had to cancel a couple because of COVID, and Ty's and Lena got together and went to Italy, and that won't come out till next year, I think. So they've already made one without me, and the next one, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I don't know if I'm going to go back to teaching. I don't know if I'm going to continue being a YouTuber. I don't know anything. Right now, I just want to get to Kaeo National Park, and then I want to get to Bangkok and take some time off, and then I want to go to Pai for New Year's, and then I want to get back to Dreamy and finish, and then it's just one thing at a time at the moment. I just can't plan ahead at all. I don't know why. Just can't seem to think. Sorry about all these cars. I'm in a little bit of a bad mood today, if you can probably tell. No main reason except for, you know, just driving all the way here today. Quite excited for another province. I really enjoyed Buriram, I really enjoyed Chayapum, I really enjoyed Khon Kaen, and then I was quite looking forward to SURIN, and then I saw the elephants chained up in the back of vans driving around, and I just thought, oh, put me in a bad mood. What else? Where do you recommend travel in Thailand for the first time? That's a good question. Get to Bangkok, go to Koh San Road, get drunk as hell and meet as many people as you can. And if you can, go where they want to go. If they're going up north and they seem cool, go with them. If they're going south and they seem cool, go with them. That's what I did. I had a really strict plan planned out with my best friend, and then the first night we met these two hot Swedish girls in a club. And they were like, oh, we're getting the night train to Chiang Mai tomorrow. Where are you going? And I looked at my plan and I was like, we're going to go on the night ferry to Koh Tao. And he was like, no, let's go with them. And I was like, yeah, we're going to go with you. And the rest is history. So just go where you meet friends, or go where you have friends. If you're really looking for a solo adventure and you don't really want to be around people, then I would go to the north of Thailand. As long as it's not in smoky season, go to the north, rent a motorbike and just hit the road. Just ultimate freedom. Best part of the trip for me, northern Thailand, me and Dreamy, mountains, endless provinces after endless provinces of nothing but unbelievable beauty. Jack Tor, he says, what countries are floating around your head to go to next? Like I said, I'm not really thinking, but if you had a gun to my head, or if Thailand kicked me out tomorrow, I'd go to Vietnam, or I'd go to Taiwan, or I'd go to Japan. Yep. JMG says, I hope you're okay, I hope you're not burning out. I am burning out, yeah. But burning out, I did it to myself, you know, rushing around Isan. This is a stupid idea. But as I mentioned before, I just wanted to get it done so I can get to Bangkok and just relax and not have to have it in the back of my head that I have to come all the way back here. You know, I've only got a couple of months really left to finish all these before I have to make a big decision, you know, school or YouTube or something else. So I have got one mind. I don't like rushing, and because I am rushing, it's probably the reason why I'm not enjoying myself. Because I never had any sense of having to rush. I had a whole year, but now we're in month 9. I don't have a whole year. I gotta get it done. AJ says, do you see yourself living in Thailand for the rest of your life? Yes, that's something that, you know, just hanging out with Ryan, the Naked Guru, and seeing how he lives, and getting a little bit older now. I'm going to be 36 years old next year, and so I do feel I'm starting to be more interested in buying land and building a home. Now I know some of you are going to be like, you can't buy land in Thailand. You can. You just have to buy it with someone, like maybe a wife or a long-term partner. And so we're in year 1 of this channel and this business adventure, and I think year 4 or year 5 would be a great time to hopefully have built up a base level of savings to be like, let's go buy a bit of land and let's go build a house and document that for the channel. And then, you know, year 6 and 7, like, oh, we've got kids now, and like, oh, they're going to school, and oh, we're going on holiday to Kenya to go see the real elephant sanctuary. It's called the national park where they just live happily. Yeah, so I do have dreams and I have aspirations for me in my life, and it is based in Thailand. It is 100% based in Thailand. Although I'd probably have to have a couple of homes, because I don't want to live in the south during rainy season. I don't want to live in the north during smoky season. So I'd have to probably get 2, wouldn't I? You know, one up north and then one in the south. Maybe get a condo in Bangkok. So all I need to do is be a millionaire and we'll be fine. What are your 3 biggest lessons or advice you've got from this year? Okay, well, the first one is just take control of your life. You know, if you have a dream, just start, just do it. It doesn't have to be YouTube, of course. It can be anything. If you've wanted to start your own business, if you wanted to start a dance school, if you wanted to open an ice cream stand or buy a van and turn it into a taco truck, as long as you've got the finances to at least get you to where you want to go, then you'll be fine. The only reason I took the final plunge to do this thing was because I had savings that I knew I'd be okay for about a year. If it didn't make any money, if it was a complete failure, I could still just drive around and make videos for fun and use my savings. But thankfully the channel started to make money quite early. So the biggest lesson I learned is it's just be brave, and just like the universe will conspire with you if you make big decisions in your life. You know, thinking about it, coming to Thailand to teach was a big decision, but I just jumped into it and I found an incredible school, and I had an amazing time. And now I've jumped on Dreamy. Look at the channel, look how it's doing. It's amazing because the universe conspired with me, I think. You know, I feel like, you know, it's not an exact science. Some of you might hear that and say, oh, but I quit my job and I started a YouTube channel and I've got 10 subscribers and no one's watching. That can happen, that can easily happen. It's not just quit everything and then everything's going to be fine. I think there's luck involved. What you don't see is incredible amounts of hard work as well. So some people might not work hard enough, some people don't get the luck, some people get a mix. I don't know, maybe I'm just lucky, you know, maybe I'm just lucky. But yeah, you don't get lucky if you don't try. You have to be in it to win it. So biggest lesson I learned was taking a risk is extremely rewarding and scary, but it's, you know, they call it being brave for a reason, because you have to face your fear. I was worried that I'd be rejected and nobody would watch and it would be a flop, and I would run out of money and all my savings would be gone because I'd chased some stupid dream. So I'm glad I faced up to it. And another lesson I learned is you can't put a price on your freedom. That's the one thing that I just would find really difficult to give up going back to teaching, is being told when to go to work and being told when the lessons are, and going to meetings that I don't want to go to, and all the rest of it, you know, normal life stuff. Taking control, like I have my own business and it comes with a lot of pressure and stress, but I don't have to wake up and go to work. I don't have to film. I don't have to do anything. And sometimes I do take time off and days off where my energy levels are not there, or I don't feel up to it. I don't have to call ahead. I don't have to feel guilty about emailing someone saying I'm really sick, I can't come to work. I just don't go to work. And if I want to go east, I go east. If I want to go north, I go north. I follow the weather, and it's the ultimate freedom. Freedom is the best thing about going on your own. Once you have your own freedom, it's like, that's the biggest, oh, I don't think I can give that up. And the third thing I've learned is to listen to yourself and listen to other people's opinions. I used to be so stubborn, but this trip I think I've really learned to be quiet and listen to other people's opinions, who they might be younger than you, but it doesn't mean that they're not smarter than you or wiser than you in particular things. A lot of the really good advice I've been given recently are from people like younger than me, and I think 5 years ago I wouldn't listen to a 21-year-old, and now it's like, I can kind of understand how that relates to me. And then yeah, just listen and don't be afraid to change your mind as well. I change my mind all the time, and it's good to change your mind. And I hope that helps. I hope that answers your question. We've been talking now for a long time, so let's just do one more for fun. Let me refresh it, and I'll just do the most recent question. How about that? What's your favourite province so far? Gun to my head. Probably Chiang Rai. Yep, Chiang Rai. I can't believe I'm going to say that. Chiang Mai is amazing. Obviously, it's incredible, but I don't know what it was, but Chiang Rai made me more jaw-droppingly like amazed. I was just completely in awe of the mountains in Chiang Rai. And then the city is way better than you think it is. I used to think it was just a boring town with a golf course and a roundabout and a white temple, but it's way more than that. And the Doi Chang Mountains, Puchi Pha Mountains, the interesting cave, and just yeah, it's got it all. It's super north. And the only reason why I wouldn't live there is because of smoky season. But if I would buy land in Chiang Rai, I would buy land maybe in Samui, and then move between the two. So Chiang Rai is my favourite province. Close second is Suratani. Close third is Patalung. Okay, that was the Q&A. And that was SURIN province. And this is probably going to go down as one of the many Isan provinces that I didn't do justice to. And I'm sorry if you come from here. But you know, that's life. And this trip isn't about the provinces anymore. I think it used to be. I think I'd really focused on province. Must make the best province video possible. I must have a great time and show the world. And now it's got to the point where I think it's more, actually no. It's about the journey, and this is just a slice. And this particular mood that I'm in, and this particular sunset I'm experiencing, is just what's happening right now. And I just wish you could be here now, because then we'd go for a beer and have a proper little whinge. I'd be like, can you believe those elephants chained up? It's absolutely a nightmare, isn't it? Oh. And then we'll probably go get some snacks from 7-Eleven, and then get some more beers, and then just have a good old night out in SURIN. And then the next day I'd be like, oh, I love SURIN, we had a right night out. That actually happened. I didn't tell you. This is the last thing, I'll finish. Just get it out of the sun. That actually happened. I was in, remember that province where I had the terrible time, Sisaket? The next day I went for a walk around the lake, and I went out to the night market and met a bunch of Isan girls, and we had beers at the night market and ate like these really random deep fried sausages, and they were disgusting, and they loved them, and I was drunk, and we had a really good night, and I had a really like productive meditative walk around the lake at sunset, 3-hour walk. It was amazing, and I was thinking, God, I love Sisaket, but I wasn't filming that day. So that's just how it's going on this trip at the moment. Right, me and Dreamy are gonna drive back to town because I have to edit 3 videos in the next day or 2 because I'm really behind on editing, and you know, gotta go back to work. This is work as well. So thanks for watching, thanks for coming along to SURIN, and I hope you found those answers interesting, and let me know if you want us to do more of these. I don't really tend to do Q&As or live streams because they just seem a bit of a cop-out. But in this particular province, I thought to myself, this is a perfect time to cop out because I'm not really feeling the elephant thing and I don't really know what else to do here, and I'm tired and I just want to go to the national park tomorrow, but it's 300 kilometers and I should really just have a night's rest and then tomorrow explore the province properly and do justice to the province. But actually I'm running out of time. I've got to be in Bangkok in 3 days and I want to go see Miss P and not be in a bad mood, and this is the ultimate ramble. I love you guys, seriously, I love you guys. Thank you for putting up with me, and I'll see you in the next video.